All right, what is up, Speed True Sports? This is Bert. I'm once again joined by Tay, and today we are going over the week 3 of the NFL season, and we're just talking about the games and what went on. Timestamps are down below if you want to go check that out. Just skip around, feel free. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So Thursday night game wasn't that
It,
exciting, you
it was
know.
it was kind of a blowout once the second half started.
Yeah,
It's
Panthers
very
versus Texans.
very. It was a very slow start. I kind of watched the first half of the game. It was a really slow start to it. I thought the Panthers would get more of an early lead. They didn't. They kind of were struggling a little bit, which kind of surprised me. But I think that had a lot to do with Chris McCaffrey getting hurt in the first
Yeah,
half, which is a big loss for them. But otherwise, they just kind of expect the game. We knew everybody knew the Panthers were going to win that game.
yeah, there was a lot of big injuries this week in general. Christian McCaffrey was one of them. DJ Moore also got shooken up, but he came back to the game.
Uh,
Honestly, I was kind of impressed by Davis Mills. He definitely outperformed what I thought he was going to do. No interceptions is the biggest compliment I can give
yeah,
him.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's against a really good Panthers defense, which only got better because they
Yeah,
made a trade
I
recently.
hats off to Davis Mills for stepping in for Tyrod and filling in for Deshaun Watson and actually, giving him some I guess some type of production, but can't really do much in Houston. There's not much going on there. So
Yeah,
he's doing his best with what he has.
yeah, and Sam Darnold keeps going. Congrats to him; he's doing great. I could see this
Lighten it
Panthers
up.
team. I could
I'm
see him
rooting.
going on a big winning streak.
Yeah.
Let's go to Washington versus Buffalo. This was a hard game to watch. Uh, it was fun in the beginning, and then the Bills just ran away with it. Like, honestly, I still think they should give the ball to Antonio Gibson more. I know
More.
this was the Bills are a really good team at stopping the run, but like throw him the ball more because they threw him a screen pass and he brought it for 70 and a touchdown. Like,
Only had 2 targets. He should at least had way more targets.
yeah,
Um, I know JD McKissick only had 5 touches, but if watching the game, it seemed like that important parts of the game when they're trying to work their way back, Gibson's not on the field, and I don't understand what Ron Rivera's whole plan is with Gibson. I mean, he's your bell cow back. Obviously, there's no doubt that he's more talented than McKissick. I just don't understand what's the point of not having him in the game when you're down. You need your playmakers in the game to bring you back, and you have him sitting on the sideline. I imagine he's probably gonna voice his frustration soon because I feel like this has happened every week so far.
yeah. I mean, honestly, he is just as good of a receiver as JD McKissick, if not better. And like we just saw, he has a higher potential because he has the speed to take a simple screen pass, bring it home. Like,
Absolutely.
he needs to be seeing more targets. Terry McLaurin, I was kind of surprised he only got 7. I thought they were going to target him more, but Tre'Davious White obviously was on, and that's kind of
Yeah,
it's
it's kind
difficult.
of hard. It's kind of hard to get open. I would say this was the Cole Beasley show for sure.
Yeah,
Which is really surprising to me. I mean, he's not a guy you would think just have a big huge game like this, but Emmanuel Sanders also had 2 touchdowns, which is really good. They also because they just need another target to go to other than Stephon. I know Gabriel Davis trying to work his way back from injury, so Emmanuel Sanders stepping up and getting 2 touchdowns this game shows that how explosive this offense is. This is obviously one of the best offenses in the league,
yep,
and with an amazing receiving core. Also the running backs are improving. Zach Moss looks like he can't go down. It's like he's a freaking truck out there. It's impossible to take him down, and he's very patient with his runs. I like the way he runs the
yeah.
ball. Singletary is way faster than what he was last year. You can see the improvement in his speed. So this Bills offense is deadly. It really is.
Mhm. Honestly, I still think they should take away more work from Singletary and give it to Zach Moss. Zach Moss was really impressive,
Yeah.
and he ran against a typically good line with Washington. So the Washington fans should be a little concerned about their secondary.
Defense. Yeah. This defense,
Secondary the
man.
most. The line, they just kind of had a bad night. It
Yeah.
happens. I think their secondary is really concerning.
I
Uh,
thought they improved with the William Jackson signing, and then they bring in Cam Curl's back, Collins is back.
yep.
You draft St. Juice, who seemed like he was playing way above his potential that what they thought he was going to be. Fuller's there. I mean, it seems like they have all the right pieces to make this work, and it's just not working. Every week it seems like the secondary is just lost. I don't know if it's the defensive coordinator scheme. I did notice they're running a lot of cover too. And I mean, a lot of these teams are picking that apart. You guys they gotta switch it up.
Yeah.
It seems like they run these same coverages over and over and over again, and teams just know what to expect.
Yeah, it feels like they don't adjust in game as much as
Yeah.
they should. Like they just kind of have a game plan, and they completely stick with it no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, I'm not too worried for Washington because they saw two really, really good opponents in the first 3 weeks. Chargers and Bills. Those are two top offenses, right? So I'm not too concerned about them. The biggest test for them is going to be against Dallas. We're going to see what they can do against Dallas because Dallas is really rising up right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the Bills, they finally got back to form.
Yeah, this was definitely the first home game. Was it the first home game for them? They started 2 games on the road.
Let me check that. No, this is their second. The first home game was against the Steelers, week 1.
Okay, so this is kind of the tune-up game. This is the game the fans wanted to see.
Yeah.
It's the tune-up game where they kind of let Josh Allen be Josh Allen and throw the ball as much as he wants, and they kind of just let the offense flow how it usually does.
Honestly, I think the rushing helped a lot because those first couple of weeks, Josh Allen was throwing like 50 times, but they weren't getting much production on the ground. But with Zach Moss emerging, I mean, that's going to really help this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Singletary and Moss both had 10-plus carries. So whenever both your running backs are getting 10-plus carries, you know that the run game is doing great. It's doing lovely.
And Josh Allen still had 40 throws. Like,
yeah, 32 for 43 with 358. I mean, listen, Josh Allen has a laser. He has a laser arm. He's amazingly accurate with the majority of his passes. He has a couple wild throws every now and then, but I mean, this guy seems like he's definitely going to win MVP soon. I feel like maybe within the next year or two. I don't know about this year. He could win it this year. He's not over with, but I think for sure within the next year or two, he'll definitely have one under his belt.
Honestly, I think we'll make a separate video on this, but I think he can win Offensive Player of the Year. I think that's what he's going to get this year.
Easily, yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and jump to the most disappointing game of the week, in my opinion. Chicago versus Cleveland.
Matt Nagy, what are you doing? This was the worst design game plan for amazing dynamic talent. You go and draft this guy in the first round. You get, I mean, how many weeks did they get? They get maybe he had 2 months, 2-3 months to prep for this day. The day comes and this is what you bring. Justin Fields got sacked 9 times. And I believe on 7 of them, it's 5-man protection against they're rushing 6 or 7. He's just getting hit and there's people coming free. I think I remember blatantly one play, Jeremiah Owusu, Jock comes blazing down the middle, he just lights him up. He doesn't even see it coming. I mean, I think he gets 0.7 seconds to throw the ball. That's ridiculous. Matt Nagy, you need to do better. Help your quarterback. Build him up. You can't just let this guy and throw him out there for the Wolves and expect him to do great when he's playing above average pass rush. This is a great pass rush. And if you don't have some type of plan in motion to protect him, to make it easier for him to have a big impact on the game like he should have, he's going to fail like we all saw. And I don't want everybody going around saying, "Hey, look, maybe Justin Fields is a bust. Maybe this, maybe that." Let's give him a better game plan. Not such a great pass rush team. I think he'll succeed. But I mean, this was definitely just a bad game for him to start against.
Yeah, Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks on Justin Fields. That's ridiculous. He had basically half the sacks against him. And honestly, what makes me the most frustrated is that I feel like they didn't change the game plan from Andy Dalton to Justin Fields. They just kind of threw Andy Dalton's playbook out there for Fields.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's like I don't know how much preparation they did going into this game, but it doesn't seem like they did much because the play calling was really, really bad. The line play was really bad. I'm not sure if it was the blocking schemes or if it was just missed blocking. But I mean, like you said, like there were times where literally there were 5 guys going up against like 6 or 7. It's like, how are you going to stop that? Like,
there's no stopping it. There's no running back help. They got him in empty. These teams are blitzing 6, 7. These teams are blitzing. Browns are blitzing 6, 7 guys, and he's running to empty. And they don't give him an option, an audible back to bring the running back. So it's like you just set them up for failure.
And Justin Fields is a rookie, so like you can't expect him to make those reads right off the bat. He's got to have experience for that. So he doesn't know what's coming half the time. And that's on the coach to be like, okay, wait, hold up. We got to change this play up. We got to have more guys protecting. It's just, it was such a bad game plan for Matt Nagy. And I feel like he doesn't know how to properly utilize his talent because he did not properly utilize David Montgomery for most of his career so far. And David Montgomery's a really good running back.
Like, he's a great running back. He should be producing way more than what he is every year.
Yep.
By any means.
Yep.
He has every intangible that you would want in a running back. He has it. And they failed to use him.
He's so hard to tackle. He breaks so many.
Yes, absolutely.
And they also have Allen Robinson. It's not like they don't have pieces. They have so many pieces.
They have so many pieces, and it just seems like they're not making them work for what he has. Yeah. This offense could be amazing. This could really be a really good offense. Darnell Mooney's there with Allen Robinson. You have Marquise Goodwin, who's a speedster. Cole Kmet, who's good. Jimmy Graham is the veteran who just, you could just dink and dime to every now and then when you need him to. I mean, they have the pieces there for Justin Fields to succeed. It's just a matter of the OC and Matt Nagy really coming up with a very, very good game plan for a dynamic quarterback that you guys have.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Lamar Jackson's rookie year when they kept using Joe Flacco's playbook for Lamar Jackson, and obviously that didn't work.
No, not at all.
You can't have a pocket passer playbook for a scrambling quarterback. And you saw what happened in the playoffs. They got picked apart. They got destroyed in the playoffs that year.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I don't really know what to say. Justin Fields, I mean, everyone's seen the stats about how bad they were offensively. Justin Fields only had 68 yards passing. That's 2 more yards than Justin Tucker's field goal kick.
Yeah, exactly. And he got sacked more times than he completed passes in the game. Yep. That should never happen with any starting quarterback. Yep. And it has nothing to do with him. I want everybody to know. Go back and watch the game film. There's plenty of it on YouTube. You can go back and watch it. This is not his fault. This is the worst game plan I've ever seen for a rookie quarterback. It just seemed like Matt Nagy wanted him to fail. It seems like Matt Nagy wants him to be the bust. And it's sad to say, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah, and honestly, if it was Andy Dalton that was out there, he might have gotten sacked 12 times.
12 times, literally.
There was moments where Justin Fields did evade sacks because he is mobile, and it wasn't often, but it's just so tough to do good when your line is just butter. I mean, that's what was happening to the Ravens in week 1.
It's very hard to succeed, but hopefully they come back next week, and they're talking about all 3 are an option to start next week, which I think is ridiculous. I think you give Fields another shot, give him a better game plan, and make things work easier for him. You got to slow the game down for him, make it easier for him. Don't try to get him to adjust just immediately. Make it easier for him. Let him work his game, and then continuously speed it up week to week. But don't just throw it in if you go full 100 miles per hour immediately.
Yeah, and next week is a game you should start him again. You should start Justin Fields if you want to build any type of confidence because it's against the Lions, the 0-3 Lions.
Yes, 1,000%.
I expect David Montgomery to eat, which makes Justin Fields' job easier, which should help the entire offense. And it honestly, if they don't start Justin Fields here, I would be pretty frustrated if I was a Bears fan because this is when you want your rookie quarterback to play and get minutes is against bad teams.
That is a morale booster for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm worried about his confidence though. I don't know if this is affecting him mentally.
A game like that, you get sacked 9 times in the game. I mean, I could imagine what he's going through.
Yeah. I just hope he doesn't kind of end up doing what Lamar Jackson did at one point, was where his line was just so bad. The second he felt any type of pressure, he just started getting ready to run because he probably knew that they were just going to blow right by him.
Yeah.
Week 1. But yeah, speaking of the Ravens, we should probably jump to that game. Oh, shout out Cleveland though. That was a great game by Cleveland offensively as well.
Cleveland offensively, you guys performed well. Odell had a pretty decent game on his first game back from injury.
Kareem
Hunt lit it up this week. Kareem Hunt, is obviously showing why we said this earlier in the year. This is the best running back committee in the NFL, easily.
And this is one of those times where I prefer running a committee here because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are both extremely talented, and they both complement each other. Kareem Hunt's a better
Yes,
catcher.
very well. Very
Chubb's
well.
a better runner.
1000%. And I mean, it seemed like they spread the ball out a lot. I mean, you have let's see, Baker connected with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different receivers he connected with this game.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you got a connection with 7 different guys, you got so many options to throw the ball, you're bound to succeed.
And Odell's finally back from that injury. So once
100%.
Jarvis Landry comes back, shoot, I mean, Cleveland looks scary.
Yeah, Cleveland's definitely a scary team. They're definitely a team to look out for.
All right, yeah. So let's jump to the Ravens now. They won.
I'll let you kick it off. Go ahead, take over.
That was a crazy game, man. I had so many emotions because Marquise Brown dropped like 3 different passes that all could have been touchdowns. Mark Andrews tripped over his own feet in the end zone and completely missed a wide open end zone pass as well. And let's be real, Lamar Jackson was throwing dimes all over the field today. I mean, he threw for 287 yards, and it honestly could have been 350 or more if those catches had been made. Like, this was his best passing performance by far, in my opinion. I think this was the pinnacle of his passing so far. And I think this is what we're going to expect as the season goes on. He's just gotten better at passing this year. We saw it from week 1, week 2, and now week 3. My problem is that I don't know what was going on with the running backs. I have no idea why Tyson Williams only got 5 carries, because he ended up, in terms of yards per carry, outproducing every single other running back that got carries. Latavius Murray got 7, but he only went for 28 yards. Tyson Williams got 5 and went for 22.
Yeah.
You got to give Tyson, I know he sometimes has some blocking issues, but like, if you need a running play, like, you got to have Tyson out there. Like, let's be real.
Absolutely, 1000%. He's easily I wouldn't even say he's the most talented. He's a better fit for the offense.
Yeah, he has the most speed.
Yeah, the most speed with Lamar, and you have speed with speed. You can't stop it. And I would say you just abuse it until you can. You don't need a big bruiser type back running with the ball with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
you need a speed guy that he can kind of, if you guys do want to run an RPO or some read options or anything like that, you can give him to him. He can just burst out of there. Yep. You need more of that more so than a guy who gets right to the hole and he's getting mauled because he's just trying to run over everybody. Yeah.
And we got to talk about the final minutes of that game.
Justin Tucker,
that 4th and what was it, 15 conversion? Something. It was 4th and something. It was a big conversion that at that point I was like, man, like, this game really might be over. And then I see Lamar drop back, and I see how much time he has, and I'm like, that's a pass. Like, that's a completion right there. And he threw it right to Watkins. He didn't drop it. Thank God he did not drop it.
Sammy Watkins, you lived up to the moment finally.
Yep. And that pass set them up for a 66-yard field goal attempt. And Justin Tucker kicked it, and it bounced off the crossbar right at the bottom middle, and it went in, which is so, like, what are the chances that even happens, man? Honestly, I think the spirit of Mo was there with us, bro. And he blew it in. He blew it in real quick. He just pushed it in real quick.
Pushed it in right quick, yeah. Hey, Justin Tucker, you got it, man. I can't say anything else. I can't believe he hit the kick. I turned the game on because I was having a group chat with all my friends. They were just all texting about it. What's going on? So I turned the game on and I'm like, there's no way they're about to attempt a 66-yard field goal. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm like, but if anybody can kick it, it's going to be Justin Tucker, of course. Yeah. And of course, he gets just enough to hit the crossbar for it to go in. I mean, crazy turn of events. Me per se, I would say that I was not expecting the game to be so close, but like you said, a lot of drop touchdowns, a lot of guys tripping over their feet, just a lot of small things that needs to get fixed in practice that Lamar will definitely get on his guys about, and they'll fix it in practice, and you'll probably see way more touchdowns this week for sure.
Yeah, they were on the plane right afterwards, just immediately talking about the game and going for film. Lamar was watching film the second he got on the plane, so I expect him to be better than this. But yeah, this game should have been like 35-17.
Yeah,
instead of 19-17. Like, Yeah, but I do want to shout out. I mean, Jared Goff played a really clean game,
Yes,
really
yes,
clean game.
and it seemed that that Detroit is a pretty good running committee with Jamal
Yeah,
Williams and DeAndre Swift. I
yeah,
mean, they both produce the same. You can't be mad at it. I mean, you go with either or, you're going to get the same production. They're going to do well.
yeah. That was a really difficult backfield for Baltimore to stop, and they also had they have some guys to throw to. T.J. Hawkinson he was really held in check. You could tell they really planned their entire game plan around T.J. Hawkinson.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Mark Andrews had a great game too. I think this was his best game of the year
Best
so
game so
far.
far, yeah. Easily best
And
game so far.
and look, when Rashad Bateman is healthy, he might come back either next week or the week after.
I believe I saw something like he's going to practice this week, so
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see him get a couple snaps on Sunday. I don't
Yep.
think they'll throw him in immediately for a heavy production, but he'll definitely get limited snaps this weekend if he makes it out through the week of practice.
Yep. Yeah, he is. He's off IR finally, short-term IR, and he is. I just can't wait for him. They're going to use him. He's their first round rookie. They're going to use him, and I'm excited because he's really good. He has really good hands, and honestly, Bateman maybe makes some of those catches that
Yeah,
Marquise did.
1000%. I believe he's the piece you guys are missing for sure. I mean, he just has strong hands and he's capable to go up and just snag it out of the air with
Yep.
no problem. And you guys are definitely missing a receiver. You guys need one just like that. And I think once you guys get that back, you guys gonna be able to just move the ball around so much that nobody's gonna be able to know what to guard because I feel like there's gonna be safety help over top with Marquise Brown, who's gonna lead to a lot of one-on-one tough grabs with Bateman, who's shown that he's capable to make it happen with no problem.
Yeah, and I kind of like how Baltimore is kind of turning into a little bit more of a passing team. I mean, I know we're strongest at the run, but like we do need to get better at passing, and this is a great
Yeah.
chance to work at it. Um, and yeah, and also on Bateman, I mean, he's a great route runner. I mean, I saw training camp videos of him cooking Marlon
Yes,
Humphrey,
absolutely.
who
Yeah.
is one of the best corners in the
Corners in
league.
the league easily. So when you got a guy like that who's coming in and immediately making an impact like that in training camp where everybody knows like obviously this is the guy that you guys have, he's gonna make noise.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's kind of all I got to say on this. Detroit with a valiant effort, but 66-yard field goal can't have nothing in Detroit.
Nothing you can do about the aimbot, man. Nothing you can do about the aimbot.
I'm waiting for a 70-yard attempt at Denver. The air is thinner. He can do it. If he
needs
got
to
a
break
win
his
going
own
his way,
break his own record. You think he can do it?
I think he could.
I don't doubt it. Honestly, I really
He
don't.
warms up with 70s in
Yeah,
practice. So
yeah, I don't doubt it. I think he has enough leg to get it done.
this solidifies Justin Tucker as a top 100% top three
Kicker.
kicker of all
Oh
time.
yeah,
In my opinion,
easily.
100%.
Yeah, 1000%.
Arguable for GOAT for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's go to Cardinals Jags. I mean, there's not much to talk about. The Cardinals just kind of destroyed them. I was a little surprised that they gave up 19, but it
Yeah.
is what it is. Trevor Lawrence threw 2 interceptions, had 2 fumbles, did not look great. But he also had 219 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he didn't have a horrible game. This was James Robinson's coming out game for the Jags.
Yes, absolutely, 1000%. I would say that I've noticed there has been a tremendous drop down in Arizona's pass rush ever since week 1. And I think it has a lot to do with Chandler Jones. I think a lot of teams just kind of, they're focusing on, hey, let's take him out. Let's take him out of the game. Let's see, let's I'd rather have these other guys get to us than have Chandler Jones keep sparking the plug and getting everybody else riled up. But for sure it was a great game from the Cardinals. AJ Green, all of a sudden he's revived, he's come back from the dead. 5 catches for 112 yards. I mean, you can't be mad at that, averaging 22 yards a catch. I mean, when you have a guy like that who seemed like he was struggling a bit and he's finally, coming back to himself, you can't be nothing but happy for a guy like that. Yep. I remember when AJ Green was arguably one of the best receivers in the league, and then there was just a significant drop off for the past 3 years. I don't know, it had a lot to do with injuries, but even when he was healthy, he didn't seem the same. So I'm glad he's finally getting back to form. He's becoming the AJ Green that everybody knows and loves. Christian Kirk too. He seems like a guy that they just love. Kyler Murray just loves slinging the rock deep. I mean, Even in red zone, it seems like he gets targeted the most in the red zone too. It just seems like he's a confident guy that he must be working out with Murray after practice, or they have some own, their own little connection going on that they like to get going on. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we mentioned before the season how like we felt like they needed to have a number two guy to really step up. I think Christian Kirk is that
Yeah,
number two guy.
he's definitely the number two guy. And
And even outside of him, like you said, they got AJ Green and Rondale Moore, who they didn't use too much this week, but I mean, he's still a really, really good receiver.
yeah, it's kind of hard to use Rondale Moore when AJ Green's coming out 5 catches, averaging 22 yards a catch. I mean, keep feeding him, let him build his confidence up, keep feeding him for sure.
I mean, yeah, AJ Green seeing like the third best corner on the team, most likely. And that, like, he used to be a guy that saw the best corner on every single team every week. Like, now he's seeing the third best. Like, I think AJ Green's gonna eat for the rest of the year for the most part, if he stays healthy.
Yeah. I got one little rant. Urban Meyer, cut the college football plays out. You were running a college offense in the NFL. It is so obvious. Everybody can see right through it, man. Adjust to the game. Make a smarter, just a more mature playbook. You have to adjust. You can't bring this Ohio State, this quick tempo and just these weird play calls and weird route combinations. You can't. It doesn't work like that in the NFL. These guys are way smarter. This is the top tier guys playing on the field every Sunday. It's not going to be the freshman you can pick on in college. You can't just do that in the NFL. It's not like that. I think there's one they call it a flea flicker. If any team is calling a flea flicker in 2021, the OC, head coach, somebody needs to get talked to, because there's no way that this play should be getting called at any time in the game if it's not for the win the game, or you're trying to do something in that essence of just create a spark. I mean, it's no reason to call it. And it resulted in a pick six for Byron Murphy. Yep. So it's obvious that this play does not work. Don't run it again. You're making Trevor Lawrence look horrible when he's not that bad. You got to help him out a little bit.
And honestly, I think they need to shore up their route running, because if Trevor Lawrence is not hitting deep, you need to give him some dump offs or something to at least get him going. Like, I think they need to use Laviska Shenault more. They traded for Dan Arnold. They're probably going to use him in that role too. I'm just worried about, Urban Meyer. He finally got the hint and started using James Robinson, but like that's a baby step. You need to keep going. Like he needs to be getting 15 to 20 touches every single game. He deserves it.
Yeah, you got to mature this offense fast. If you want this team to succeed, you got to mature the offense. You just got to run a more NFL style offense. You cannot run this college style. Everybody run and gun. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And to the people who think that like Alabama could probably beat the Lions, like you should watch this game because
for sure, 1,000%.
Like you said, like they're using college. They're basically
concepts,
using college play. Yeah, and
they're using
they're getting picked apart.
NFL. Yeah, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, and they're getting picked apart by the Arizona defense, which their secondary is still sus. So,
1,000%.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to the Chargers versus Chiefs game. This was a really exciting game. I got something to say on the Chiefs, man. I got something to say.
I'm loving it. Keep it rolling. Man,
the Chiefs are too comfortable. They are way too comfortable.
Thank you.
In the first half looks like they sleepwalk through every single game first half, because they're like, second half, we'll come back. We got Mahomes. You cannot be that comfortable in the NFL. I do not care if you have an all-star lineup as you're on your offense. You cannot be that comfortable.
No way, not at all.
Any team in the NFL.
You see that they're capable to get it done, but I mean, eventually teams are only going to get better. Nobody's going to just stay stagnant and keep losing to you guys. Everybody's going to come with better game plans every single year to make something else work, to stop somebody. Mahomes threw 2 interceptions against his secondary, which is really surprising to me. I know one wasn't his fault. It was off a tip pass to his receiver, but Mahomes, I know you like to be flashy and all, but you can't be throwing these no-look passes just to anybody. Marcus Kemp is not ready for a no-look pass in the middle of the field. He's not expecting that. And it turned into an interception for Asante Samuel Jr., who's had back-to-back picks in 2 games now. So he's really showing his talent. But like you said, they're becoming too comfortable. They just need to, be the Chiefs for 4 quarters, not 2 quarters or 3 quarters or the last 15 minutes of the game, you guys want to beat the Chiefs and come back and win the game. It's just not going to work every week. Teams are going to adjust. Teams are going to play you guys harder. And everybody's just gonna want to beat you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the top tier team, and you're gonna get your best game from every team. So you got to be prepared for that.
And teams aren't playing scared against the Chiefs anymore. They're being aggressive. And back in announcers always talk about how the way to beat the Chiefs is you got to hold on the ball the entire time. You got to run the ball, so make sure they don't get it. That's a way, but like you can't play scared against them.
You got to send your dogs at Mahomes. Let them move around a little bit. Yeah. I think we saw that a little bit in the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. They kind of exposed that. You get Mahomes moving a little bit. He gets a little flustered, just a tad bit. He's obviously capable to make the plays, but it frustrates him just a tad bit because he likes to stay in the pocket. He likes for his deep plays to develop. He's not capable to do that. And he has to roll out and scramble or roll out and throw to these checkdowns. He's not really comfortable with doing that.
Yeah. And if you can just kind of do what the Ravens did when they beat the Chiefs, was that not only did they just make sure Tyreek Hill was covered, make sure Travis Kelce was covered, because those were his two immediate go-tos. Those were his first two reads. Travis Kelce.
Every single time.
Every single time. You cover those two guys. You bring a decent enough pass rush to make him scramble. Then you bring maybe a safety to kind of pressure him and actually go up to him and make sure he doesn't scramble, because he will run for those yards.
Yes.
If you 100%. Prevent his scrambling, you lock down his two targets, this is a very beatable team because their defense is not very good. And like they don't focus until the final two quarters of the game. So something's going on with the Chiefs coaching wise. I'm not sure and just player wise, they're just not focused in my opinion. And
I would say it's more so that the players are just they're so high on a pedestal. Like, we're going to make the Super Bowl every year. We have nothing to worry about. True. We know who we are. We know what we're capable of. Well, you guys need to start winning games and start showing it, because every team's going to come with everything they got every week because they want to take you guys out.
And I know it's 3 weeks, but they're at the bottom of their division right now.
They're the bottom of the division that they should obviously be at the top of with no problem. Honestly, the Chiefs should be the team that's 3-0 in the division, not Denver and us. But we'll talk about my boys in a little while. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll talk about them soon enough. But Tyreek Hill had another disappointing game. He had one carry for 11 yards, 5 of 7 receptions, 56 yards, and a fumble, which really, look, like if you're having a bad performance and then you finally get the ball and you fumble, like that's such a bad look.
Yeah, it's not a good look. And I think there was a span where they had 3 straight turnovers, I think, in the first half. I think Mahomes threw a pick, and then Edwards-Helaire fumbled, and then Tyreek fumbled, and it's just like, man, these guys look like they're falling apart. They need a reality check. They need to snap back in, lock it back in, and just be who you guys are. Everybody knows who the Chiefs are. Just play up to the standards for 4 quarters. Enough of this 2-game BS, 2 quarters BS. It's no point of doing it.
And the question is, when are they going to wake up? Because you would have thought that Ravens game would have woke them up. Because it's like you've been beating these guys for 3 years in a row, destroying them, and now you lose to them. It's like, but they probably, I don't want to assume, but they might have written it off as a fluke. Just been like, whatever, that's okay. We'll
see them in the playoffs or whatever. Yeah, and at that, this is a division game. You guys, they need these games, because then, this loss and this start to the season, this could come down to their placement in the playoffs because of the division losses and wins and losses and everything like that. So
but also it's the Chiefs, not too concerned.
We know they are. Yeah, exactly, 1,000%.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a really good game. I was pretty surprised by that.
Yeah, really minus the fumble. I would say that he's definitely having some fumble issues, and I think they have to assess. They need to assess that ASAP and kind of get that out of the way, because he's having a hard time holding on to the ball.
Yeah. But also we gotta give credit to the Chargers. I mean, I thought they started the game really, really strong. I thought they kind of fell apart towards the end, but they did just enough to win.
Enough to win the game, absolutely. And
it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Win is a win. So they won the game.
1,000%. I would say this is a great game for Herbert. We really got to see how good he is when he's matching up against another great elite quarterback. He showed his guns this week. He showed, listen, I'm here to stay.
4 touchdowns.
I'm throwing for 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 7 yards a pass. Mike Williams finally coming alive. I'm happy for him, honestly. I really am, because they've been desperately looking for a number 2.
Yes.
And Mike Williams finally showing up. He's finally showing up. He's capable to be that number 2 they need. So yeah, man, Chargers are scary. I got to give it to them. They're really scary.
Yeah, they've got pieces everywhere on both sides of the ball. This is going to
Absolutely.
be, I could see them making playoffs straight up.
Yeah, easily.
And this is going to be a tough division now because now the Chargers are good. Now the Raiders are looking really good.
Broncos have some confidence coming off three wins.
Exactly.
Even though let me just say this now. Let's not forget that the 3 teams that the Broncos have played have a combined record of 0-12.
Yeah.
So everybody hold your horses. We'll get a real look at them this week when they play a team that's actually won games and is real competition.
We talked about this in the divisional preview for the AFC, and we had talked about how the Broncos starting schedule was so good we wouldn't be surprised if they started 3-0, and they did. So, all right, yeah. Do you want to go on to the Saints Patriots?
Yeah, we can. Let's talk about this Saints Patriots game. I didn't watch it much. I didn't really get a good look at it. I saw some clips. I saw some highlights. Looking at box score watching. Mac Jones threw 51 times, which is really surprising to me because this Patriots offense really is heavy on play action and running the ball, throwing, run, throw. They're very old school style offense. So I like that they're adjusting to the NFL. And they're coming more of like a gunslinger offense. But Mac Jones threw 3 picks. And whenever anybody's throwing more than 1 or 2, it's a bad look. Granted, when the Saints secondary is healthy like they were this week, they are a really good secondary. But I don't know, man. 3 picks it's not a good look. I would say Kendrick Bourne he led the team in yards, 6 catches. And he averaged 16 yards a catch, had a touchdown too. But Jacoby Myers is obviously the wide receiver 1. 14 targets, 9 catches, 94 yards, 10 yards a catch. You can't be wrong with that. I kind of figured he would be their guy after last year and what he was doing last year. He was kind of emerging as the guy. But I'm glad he's finally just falling into that role.
Yeah, and you know what? I think people hopped off the Jameis Winston bandwagon too early. Because everyone last week was just like, man, never mind, Jameis sucks. I was like, man, just week
relax.
1.
Just relax a little bit. Give him another game to get his confidence back and performing it again. And he came out and he had 8 incompletions only.
Yep.
Granted, he only threw for 128 yards, but let's be honest, Jameis Winston isn't really going to throw for 400 yards when he has Alvin Kamara and they run the ball with Taysom Hill, who obviously is still effective running the ball. Tony Jones Jr. is another option that they give the ball to. And they're not really a deep throwing team. This has never been their scheme. I think it's just more so that the defense is kind of giving him better field position when they're getting turnovers like this. So he's not going to get 200-300 yards a game.
Yeah, and I mean they also just don't have a solidified number 1 guy to go to every single time. So there's not a guy that Jameis can just throw it up to in a 50-50 situation and just be confident he's gonna get the ball. The closest they have to is Marquez Callaway, but at the same time, he hasn't been super productive so far this season, and he did get a touchdown this week. But he's just thrown to a bunch of guys at this point.
Yeah,
it's just a group of guys.
And Kamara's getting 24 carries a game. I mean, obviously he's not going to throw for 200-300 yards when he doesn't have any crazy wide receiver. He doesn't have a solidified wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah.
So right now, Kamara's looking like the wide receiver 1. Honestly, that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Patriots fans, look, you shouldn't expect to make the playoffs this year. I said it back in our preview. Making playoffs with a rookie quarterback is tough. It's very, very difficult, especially in a stacked AFC. There are so many good teams that can make playoffs this year. And the AFC North's going to have at least 2 of them. And AFC West probably going to have 2 of them as well, at least. So it's going to be extremely difficult for the Patriots to make the playoffs at this point. But there's always next year and the year after. That's the bonus with a rookie quarterback is that they're probably not going to be as bad as they were the year before, right? So
yep.
So hold on, you all gotta. Y'all have had enough winning. All right, let some other teams win.
Let somebody else have some fun. Belichick, take a back seat. Enjoy some vacation time. Enjoy some time on the beach, which I know he's probably not. He's probably studying football like a madman all off season. But enjoy your offseason, Bill Belichick. Enjoy it again.
All right. Falcons Giants. This was a game I did not enjoy watching, but at the same time, man, Daniel Jones disappointing in my opinion. This game, I think he did do good, but I don't know. I feel like he should have won this game against this Falcons secondary, right?
Yeah, and I would say it's more so it has a problem with this Giants defense is just not. They're not as good as I thought they were, and a couple other people probably as well. But yeah, this Giants secondary, I thought this was the stronghold of their defense, and they're looking like they're lost out there. I mean, I figured Logan Ryan, the vet experience, the vet leader that they need to get everybody together, and they have Bradbury, got Adoree Jackson, Jabril Peppers. I mean, there's so many guys that you could name. You'd be like, yeah, this secondary should be amazing. Yeah, but just like Washington, the secondary is falling apart. I don't know what's going on, but I guess big ups to the Falcons for finally getting the first win this year.
Yeah. Big ups to the Falcons for actually winning this game. They actually used Calvin Ridley pretty well. Gave him a lot of targets. Cordell Patterson is the biggest surprise of the year. He's kind of coming out of nowhere right now.
Yeah.
And he's doing really, really good for this team. He's doing really good things for this team. And honestly, Kyle Pitts, I mean, they're definitely game planning to get him out of the game for sure. You can tell.
Yeah. These teams don't want him to have these crazy explosive games. Nobody wants a rookie tight end that everybody's hyping up and they're just talking so crazy about. They obviously don't want this guy to have the good game. They'd rather have a guy like Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson, Olamide Zaccheaus, all these other guys. They'd rather these other guys have these games.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, Falcons fans, don't be concerned. Tight ends take 2 or 3 years to actually get going. So, let him bulk up over the offseason. I think he's going to end up being really, really good next year. Saquon Barkley, he kind of came back a little bit.
Yeah.
My issue with Saquon is that he doesn't take the immediate hole in the defense. He kind of tries to bounce back and tries to make a big play and sometimes he gets negative yards. Sometimes it works out.
I think I think a big thing with Saquon is that he needs to get his confidence back. It's obvious. He's second guessing himself. He just doesn't want to come into a situation where he wants people to probably fall on his knee. He's trying to prevent anything possible where he's going to come into a big mauling crowd that's going to cause injury. So once Saquon gets his confidence back, we all know who he's going to be. We all know who Saquon is. We all know how good he is, what he's capable of.
Yeah.
But he definitely performed well this game. I wouldn't say he didn't.
Yeah. I'm just worried about his athleticism going forward because he likes to bounce outside so much, and he kind of goes for more risk reward plays. If he doesn't keep that same athleticism as he's had, it could be really tough for him to break off for big runs like he used to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's gotten way better in the receiving game. He was 6-7 today. In the game, 6-7, 43 yards. And shoot, that's pretty good. Kenny Galladay is the biggest disappointment for sure.
Yeah.
On the offense.
Easily.
He's not clicking with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, and the sad thing about it is that Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton both go out to hamstring injuries early in this game. Evan Ingram's just not, he's being Evan Ingram again. 6 targets, only 2 catches. And at that, I think his first catch he fumbled. I believe so. His first catch in the game he fumbled, which is not good. They got this guy that come in. Colin Johnson came. The guy, I think they drafted him, I believe, a year or two ago from out of Texas. He came in and he showed out. I mean, it seems like he might be a weapon they could use, but if Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton are out, possibly long term.
Yeah.
But the big question for me is, where is Kadarius Toney? I heard all this talk about him in the offseason, how they were going to use him in so many different ways, and I'm just not seeing the production. I'm not seeing the usage.
2 receptions. Yeah,
2 receptions. He had 3 targets, and I mean, if you guys are talking so big about him, where's the targets? Where's the looks? Where's the snaps? Where's the snappage? It's not really making sense to me what they were really talking about in the offseason.
The Giants kind of tend to reach a lot in the first round. I thought Kadarius Toney was a reach for where he was picked. I thought Bateman was the better receiver on the board, and I'm really glad he fell to Baltimore. But yeah, like why are you drafting a guy that you are not going to use? And
Yeah,
they already have a lot of weapons. Maybe they should have focused more on their line, or maybe they should have focused more on their god awful line, or maybe their defense, a little more defensive line. There's just a lot of holes, and I don't think they needed a wide receiver
yeah,
when they took
easily.
him. I mean, they just signed Kenny, they signed Kenny
You
Galladay.
sign Kenny Galladay, you have Shepard, you have Slayton. I mean, you got your core three right there.
Yeah.
You bring this guy in. What is he really going to do? Are you guys going to try to give him some screen passes, these jet sweeps that a lot of teams like to run with their speed guys? I mean, it just not seem like they're doing any of that. I don't know what their game plan is with them.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to the Falcons. They finally took a game. I hope Calvin really keeps us up for the sake of my fantasy team. And yeah, let's move on. So the Bengals blew out the Steelers. This was
the biggest surprise. I would say, personally for me, this was the biggest surprise of the weekend. Besides the Chargers and Chiefs game, this is easily the biggest surprise. Listen, man, the Steelers are falling apart.
Yeah.
Big Ben he's not who he was. I remember, I feel like there's a viral clip actually. Big Ben throws a pick and it's three guys covering him. Yeah. And he insists on throwing him the ball still. I mean, at this point, what is the point? Throw it away. Just throw it away. Don't even try to force anything. He's making rookie mistakes. And year 12, 13? I don't know what year this is. It has to be more than that. It's something crazy.
Like 37.
Yeah, this guy's been in the league forever. Big Ben's never going away. But yeah, I really don't know what's going on with the Steelers team. This offense is falling apart. It seems like they can never get a flow. And it seems like Najee Harris is really, he's producing. He's doing everything he can.
Yep.
Look, 14 carries. And he has 14 receptions for 102 yards. If there's any time where your running back is your leading receiver and he's not even really a receiving back, there's a problem. There's a huge problem.
Yeah. Their line is so bad that they have that instead of running the ball, because Najee Harris has been inefficient. It's not his fault. The line is just so bad. He's been very inefficient to start the year. It's better for them to just dump it off to him and let him go. Like it's better than running for them, which is really, really bad. They have holes on that side of the game. They also missing TJ Watt. You can see how big of an impact he has on their defense.
Yeah,
he's gone and their defense looks bad. Like
they're missing Joe Hayden as well, who's still out. I don't know, man.
And they lost Bud Dupree over the offseason. I think that's also having a big effect.
My apologies. Joe Hayden played this game actually, which is surprising. I'm surprised that the Cincinnati receiving corps has so much success. If their whole secondary is out there, which, like you said, that shows TJ Watt has that big of an impact on this team.
I thought he was hurt going into the game.
I thought he was.
Okay, the fact that we didn't notice is
bad, which shows this team needs a reality check. They need to go back in. Mike Tomlin needs to go coach these guys up and get something going on, because this is bad. This is not looking good.
And you can see how impactful Deontay Johnson is to this team. They missed him really, really bad. And they lost him on a really, really dumb play at the end of the game that they couldn't win anyways. They threw up a long bomb to Deontay. He got hurt. And that's going to affect him for the rest of the season, whether he comes back fully healthy or not.
Yeah, 100%.
They're in a tough division. You gotta be scratching and clawing for wins in the AFC North. And now the Bengals are actually decent. Like, now you really got to be scratching and clawing for wins.
Hey,
Pat Freiermuth looked decent. I'm not gonna lie. He should be playing
he definitely should be playing over Ebron every game. No doubt at all. Juju's kind of phasing out. You can tell they're just kind of phasing him out of the offense, getting ready to get rid of him. If they sign him long term after the season, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
Claypool, Washington, and Deontay Johnson's obviously the receiving core, no doubt. But I mean, it looks like Najee Harris part of the receiving core too with 19 targets. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Najee kind of took over Juju's role of the short yardage gains, but Najee has the speed to turn them into big yard gains. So
absolutely,
you could completely replace Juju with Najee, and I think they'd be okay. I think they totally be okay.
1000%. Let me get some props to the Bengals. Bengals, great game. Joe Burrow, it's finally looking like the old line is finally, giving him just enough time. just enough time. I wouldn't say he has all the time, but just enough to make these big plays happen. And Jamar Chase, everybody talked down on him.
I want to apologize to Jamar Chase
personally. Yeah, Jamar Chase, we apologize. We thought you were a bust, and back-to-back week 2 touchdowns. Hey, he can catch the ball.
The Bengals' own beat reporters were saying he looked really bad in camp. So I was like, I don't know, what else are we supposed to think? So yeah,
I would say he's definitely proven everybody wrong. Him and Joe Burrow, it's so obvious that the connection from college is there.
Yeah.
This is my only thing. Is this going to affect his connection with T. Higgins? Is it going to affect his connection with Boyd? Obviously, Boyd still had a pretty decent game. 4 catches for 36 yards, not the best. He had a touchdown.
He was hurt.
Higgins was out, yeah. But, Jamar Chase is making the most of all of his targets. 5 targets, 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. You can't go wrong with it. And needless to say, this guy is blazing fast. He's just running past people. He's not really making any moves. I think the second touchdown he had, it was pretty good route. He just got open in the backside of the end zone, and Joe Burrow hit him. But another week, another streak. He's just running past corners and just blowing past them. And he's just getting open on touchdown. And at that, it was an amazing grab. I mean, he literally almost dove, and it was a fingertip catch for a touchdown. I mean, you can't be wrong with the guy. The guy obviously can catch. He played us all. Jamar Chase, you got us. You got us.
He set his expectations low, so when he did good, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And they forget he was like the 3rd overall pick or something like that, right?
Not even that. He was obviously the most talented receiver coming out of this draft class. Everybody knew that, but it just didn't look like that in the preseason because he's dropping passes in preseason, in camp. Beat reporters are saying, "I don't know about Jamar Chase. He's not really looking that good. He's not performing as well as we thought he would." Well, ever since week 1, he's been doing his job, so I can't be mad at him.
Yeah, and it's weird to see the Bengals at the top of the AFC North right now, along with the Browns and Ravens. Steelers are gonna have a really tough road to get back into contention. Really tough road.
If they don't get that offense in check, man, I really don't see them winning that many games because this offense just looks like they have no clue what they're doing. Big Ben, I mean, there was another video. Big Ben is literally he can't even roll out anymore. He fell. He literally fell trying to roll out and make a pass. I mean, he looks bad, man. You guys gotta Mason Rudolph, Haskins. Somebody has to come in and just they have to do something.
I don't even know about that because I feel like Mason Rudolph might be a little bit of a better option, but I don't think Haskins would be a much better.
No. That's all they have.
Look, they've got to draft a quarterback, and this next draft they have to. Like they have no choice, or they gotta trade for somebody or find somebody else that's young that can take over the spot. Because it's like you've had Big Ben and you've known that he's basically 1 foot out the door this entire time, and you haven't gotten a good quarterback behind him that you could develop. Like, I don't know. It's
he's really just it's obvious that the drop off with Big Ben is so obvious. Yeah. It's just you guys got to make something happen quick.
Yeah. Speaking of bad offenses, at least bad looking offenses, the Colts lost to the Titans 16-25. Carson Wentz did not look good, man. He really did not look good in this game.
I was kind of I was rooting for him, and it's hard to root for a guy, but he's just making mistakes, and he's just not really making these throws that he should be making. I don't really know what the deal is with the Colts. 0-3 start, which is surprising to me. I mean, they have a really good defense, but it's just so hard for a defense to strive when the offense is struggling so much.
You know what's strange is that the line is having struggles, which is like this was supposed to be one of the best lines in the league.
I know Quentin Nelson went out early in the game, but I mean, you guys got many. There's other guys there. I feel like they should make this work.
Yeah, it's like something with Carson Wentz. Just whenever he's on a team, their line is just bad. Like it's just a curse with Carson Wentz.
I don't know. He's just bound. He's just not bound to be great.
Yeah, it's sad to say, but yeah, Carson Wentz is not performing how we all thought he would. The Titans, this is a pretty dominant win for the Titans. This is putting them firmly in the driver's seat to win their division right now. Derrick Henry had another great game. He's back to his form after that horrible week 1.
Week 1, yeah. Derrick Henry's back to being Derrick Henry. And you know what's crazy? The Titans won this game despite Ryan Tannehill throwing 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
He threw 2 interceptions, and they still managed to come back. And they didn't come back. They still managed to keep control of this game and win.
Tannehill's looked off for most of the season.
Yes.
But also, Part of it's to do with his line, but also I think AJ Brown's been dealing with something, and now he's actually out with something.
Yeah, he's actually injured right now. And it seems like he can't get the connection with Julio to get working. So it's like he's just struggling all over.
Yeah.
This is showing how much this offense that they're used to running with this 2 tight end offense, this is showing how effective it was and how he's not really liking this adjustment.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's got to click with these guys more. And now he does have Julio to fall back on, but now he's going to be throwing to guys like, Nick Westbrook, Ikine, I think it's how you say his name, Chester Rogers. He's going to be throwing to guys like this a lot now. And I'm not exactly sure how long AJ Brown's out for, but if it's an extended, I just got this notification. It's a week-to-week hamstring injury. Hamstrings are dangerous.
Yes, very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
It can derail your entire season.
Yes, easily. One bad cut, and he could easily pull his hamstring.
Yep. They're probably gonna keep him out for a couple weeks, honestly, and they can afford to do it because the next 2 guys they're going up against are the, I believe is it the Jaguars? They're seeing the Jags and like the Jets. I'm pretty sure, like back to back.
Yeah, so, Jets and Jags back to back. So they got 2 weeks to sit him. Let him rest. Let him get his body right for sure.
Keep him out. Let Derrick Henry eat them alive. Win the game. That's it. Like just move on.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah. From the other side of the ball, yeah, we talked about the Colts. Let's go to the. Do you want to go to the Broncos Jets, or do you have something else to say?
No, that's it. I mean, we can go on. There's not really much else to say.
Broncos Jets, not much to say here. 26-0. The Jets looked horrible. The Broncos look pretty decent, but it's the Jets, so everyone looks good against the Jets.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know if it's you don't have protection and you feel pressure to throw these risky passes, but you throw a lot of 50-50 balls. I'm starting to notice you throw a lot of passes up for grabs, and you just these reads aren't the best, and you're just kind of you're walking into these interceptions. I feel like they built this receiving core to help him, and it has yet to do that.
It's not a bad core either, though. I mean, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Keelan Cole, Braxton Berrios is a little underrated. I don't think it's a horrible receiving core. I think what really hurts them is that their defense is so bad. They get down so early. They have to throw. They can't afford to run with Michael Carter like 20 times a game. Absolutely. Even if they wanted to, even if he was worth running 20 times a game with. They can't afford to because they need to throw or else, they can't afford to run the clock out. There's so many things wrong with the Jets and every single facet of every single position. Like, honestly, wide receiver is probably their best position right now.
Yeah, that's that they have and not even that. Jamison Crowder has yet to play one snap yet this season. He's been hurt, and I think he's going to come back this week. But I don't know. This offensive line, Mekhi Becton's out, so losing him is big. And then Zach Wilson, he just doesn't look very comfortable. And he just doesn't look like he really knows what's going on out there. Like, I think it's kind of hard for him to read these defenses because he's making really risky throws, really bad reads. It's just the Jets look like the Jets. And Jets fans, I'm sorry. We said this in the preview. Get ready to make another top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Get ready to go home early. Just tank for one of these. Maybe not even another quarterback. Maybe a receiver, running back, or just
get a lineman or something.
Build his O-line. Build the defense, do something. Just you guys need help everywhere. I wish you guys the best. That's all I can say.
There was actually a viral picture that went up of somebody DMing the Jets center. Is it Chester Rogers? Is that his name? It's I forgot his name exactly. They DM'd the Jets center and they were like, they sent him a picture of him on the right A gap, and right up the middle, the dude was just running right up the middle, completely unblocked. They're like, yo, what are you doing? People were joking that it would look like a Madden play, like it was a Madden block.
Jesus.
He responded to him and he was like, he was right to. He was like, y'all don't know nothing about the game. I was supposed to be in the right A gap. That's exactly where my spot was. That's exactly where I was supposed to be. I was there. I did my job. Kind of throwing shade on the left guard, Elijah Vera Tucker, who completely ignored him and just kind of went left. It was like, there's something going on with the chemistry in the line, and now they're calling each other out like subtly.
So it's looking bad. This is just turmoil, and it's just fire, and it's all bad. The Jets, you guys are just. I don't even know what to say, man. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you guys' fan base. I really do.
Yeah, they've got to change the culture. They got to start with that, and I think they're taking good steps with Robert Saleh, but I don't know how long it can even last, really.
Yeah, honestly. But to talk about the Broncos, Tim Patrick has emerged
Yeah,
as the number 2 receiver for this offense. It's obvious Jerry Jeudy is going to be the number 1 guy when he comes back, and that's if he can stay healthy because a high ankle sprain is a really bad injury for a receiver.
yeah,
And then they lost KJ Hamler. He tore his ACL in the game this week, which is really bad because that was their only really big deep threat speed guy they had. But Tim Patrick is showing up and he's showing out, and it's obvious they're going to have to pay him soon. I believe they did. Did they pay him already? I'm not sure if they paid him already, but
not sure.
He's definitely due for a payday after these past 2 seasons for sure.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton's looked like he's kind of get back in the swing of things. 5 receptions on 5 targets. Can't be mad at that. He's catching every pass that's thrown to him. He's doing everything he can with what he has. But yeah, this Denver offense is kind of this receiving core is kind of falling apart.
Yeah, Sutton's kind of taking Judy's role right now as like the go-to guy, but Tim Patrick is kind of reminds me of like the connection that Teddy Bridgewater had with Robbie Anderson last year. It kind of reminds me of that. He's a bigger guy. He can actually run pretty deep and catch deep passes. He's an end zone target. And yeah, I mean, they have Noah Fant as well. Fant helps them a lot. He didn't do too much. They weren't throwing too much this week. They didn't really need to. Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams just went crazy.
Once they got up a good lead, they kind of just was like, let's just run the clock out. Let's get this game over with. Let's not drag it on any longer.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not much else to say on the Broncos Jets. Raiders, Dolphins. I'll let you give your thoughts about this game first. Go ahead.
Everybody doubted us. Everybody doubted my boys. This defense, man, I was raving about it all offseason. I talked about it in the preview. I was talking about it in our chats all offseason. I was telling guys, this D-line, man, it's going to be something scary. I was telling people all year, all offseason. Once I saw these pickups happening and all these guys were all in Gus Bradley's scheme before, just in different teams, I was like, this is going to be perfect. This is all the pieces are landing where it needs to be. And the defense has shown this is a hard-nosed, flying around, just hard-hitting defense. They scared me a little bit this week. There were a lot of mishaps, a lot of missed tackles in open field on Jacoby Brissett, who's not even as mobile as he was before. He's walking around with the freaking robot knee, and he's breaking guys down when these super slow juke moves. But the Raiders are clicking. They're doing everything they needed to do. Derek Carr is impressing everybody once again. I've been saying that he's so frowned upon, but he does everything that any team would want in a quarterback. But he's just so frowned upon. Peyton Barber, you stepped up big. Your number was called. Josh Jacobs out, and you did what you needed to do. 23 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown. I can't be mad at it. Keep doing you until Josh Jacobs comes back. Once he comes back, you're going to get phased out. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the game plan. But I want to talk about how Derek Carr is really spreading the ball out to everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
After week 1, he kind of noticed that he can't keep targeting Darren Waller 19, 20 times a game. Mm-hmm. And it seems like Waller's not really getting as many targets as he used to. Waller would usually average double-digit targets a game. He's only getting 6, 7 a game because he's giving Brian Edwards 5. Henry Ruggs is finally emerging as our obvious number 1 receiver. He had 7 targets. Renfro's showing up. He had 6 targets. Kenyon Drake's getting 6 targets a game. I mean, I know I'm boosting this up just maybe a little bit, but I just want to say we're the only team with 4 receivers at 200 yards apiece.
Yeah.
This offense is clicking. This defense is flying around. I'm loving it. Keep bringing it every week, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, you guys started this game off really sloppy. Really sloppy.
Yeah, 1,000%.
To the point where everyone was like, this is the old Raiders. But I'm going to be real, this is not the old Raiders. This is a way different vibe about this team. A lot of people think this team's going to fall off later on. I don't know, man. They faced 3 elite defenses in the first 3 weeks, and they beat all of them. They were close games, but they beat all of them. And they are one of the best teams in clutch time. When it's the 2-minute drill, they got to score, they can do it.
Derek Carr throws beautiful passes. Receivers are making amazing catches. It's just like everything's clicking. Everything's going right. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen later on.
Yeah, it's he just has the clutch gene. It's just something in him where when the going gets tough, Derek Carr turns into Patrick Mahomes. like
Yeah, he really
like
does.
it's crazy, and they've got a really solid team all around. Um, I think the Dolphins were favorites going into this game. I'm pretty sure I bet on the Raiders to win this. I made some money off y'all. Thank you.
Keep putting your money on us. Keep betting on us. We're looking really good.
The Chargers are favorites against you guys, so I stopped to bet on the Raiders.
I do what you got to do. No worries.
No,
but
I bet on the Raiders. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
All graces. But I want to point out that Jacoby Brissett actually really performed really well.
Yeah,
and
Mike Gesicki.
And I just want to say that if Tua goes down, this team can still be really good. Obviously, this offense is still really effective. The defense is the defense, but Jacoby Brissett really had his offense really dialed in. He kind of just was like picking the Raiders defense apart for a little while. I was a little nervous, but like you said, Mike Gesicki had a really good game. Jalen Waddle was just performing outrageously. He's catching everything. It seems like you can't drop a pass. I don't know what's going on. I feel like every single time they threw him the ball, he caught it. I mean, obviously he did. He had 13 targets, 12 catches. But watching the game physically, I mean, he's making every catch that they need him to make.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what Tua needs to do more often. He needs to target Mike Gesicki because he's a very, very good tight end, and he's on the verge. He's on the verge of a breakout, and if he just gets targeted more. So Jalen Waddle also surprised me. He still did good even without Tua, and that connection that they have. Will Fuller is back now. That's going to be dangerous if if Jacoby Brissett throws deep a little more. But yeah, the Jacoby Brissett's a great backup for Tua, and yeah, this team's still dangerous even without Tua.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, I thought this was going to be a blowout. I thought we're going to annihilate Jacoby Brissett. We're going to get back to him. We're going to get at him. We're going to fluster him. But I mean, even that, we're getting pressure almost every play, and he's just stepping up in the pocket. Great reads. He's running. He's scrambling. He's doing everything. I want to give a big shout out to somebody on defense, Denzel Perryman. You are looking like an animal out there. Yes. You are flying around. You're everywhere on the field, and I'm loving it. Corey Littleton's doing a way better job than last year. Abrams, I'm glad they finally took him out. Let's not have him cover anymore. Let's just have him, kind of be, when we have these running quarterbacks, let's just have him, mirror these running quarterbacks, let him guard these running backs. We don't really need him guarding tight ends and receivers because he's just not really good at doing that. He's good at, run support, hitting somebody in open field, and, just keeping everything in front of him. But one guy who I talked about in the recap, who I said was going to be a big sleeper because we drafted him late in the draft, Nate Hobbs.
Yes.
My boy. He's looking like a dominant slot CB right now. I mean, every single time you need him to be there in a spot, he's making these crazy open field tackles. We were seeing like, oh, this guy's going to just miss this tackle, rookie mistake. But every single time it proves me wrong, and I'm loving it. Keep doing your thing. Casey Hayward, you only let out one reception this year, but it was a safety, so, don't sweat it. You're still doing great. I think PFF had him ranked as like the number 2 corner in the league right now.
Yeah, your guys' defense your team's definitely better than I expected. I mean, in the predictions, I said y'all could finish last, and now y'all might finish first or second. Like it's that real. So
yeah, I took my boys to win the division. I wasn't wrong. I got all faith. I knew this defense was going to be something different. I knew bringing Gus Bradley was a big thing. Mm-hmm. I saw in training camp a lot of people were just saying like, this defense is really different this year. And I hope that people are kind of, not just taking the Raiders hype as, Raiders fan base, just hyping them up every year. A lot of people are like, no, this is real deal. This defense is really, really different. And it's showing.
Yeah. You guys have a serious chance to win the division. I mean, your schedule gets easier from here on out, right?
Yeah.
You guys go against next week.
We got Chargers next week.
That's gonna be a tough game. But after that, we
Bears,
got you guys can take the Bears.
Yeah, no doubt. We can take the Bears. We have a really good schedule going forward. I don't think that we'll end up going like 6-0 or 5-0. I can see us, in the next, before our bye week, I can see us, maybe squeezing out like, a good like, 5-6 wins. But even that, I'll take it. I'm glad for us, to keep this train moving. I just don't want us to take a downfall in week 8 and we have that bye week. I want to see, let's take our week off, but let's when we come back, let's reel it back in. Let's keep everything moving how it was.
Honestly, you guys could be undefeated for a little while longer. I mean, you guys have proved against 3 elite defenses you can still score the ball.
Yes.
And so that should scare any defense that is elite, that, they got to realize they got to step up for this game. They can't sleep on the Raiders because they can still drop a lot of points.
I want to say that this run game is looking so effective. We're missing 3 starting linemen. 3 starting linemen are out right now. This run game is still looking effective, and I'm loving it.
The scheme is really good.
Yeah, the scheme's really good. I mean, when Peyton Barber is being successful in a scheme that no one would expect him to be great in, then you just know it has nothing to do with the guys there. These guys are just doing their job, and everybody's just doing the right thing.
All right. Speaking of guys doing the right thing, well, I guess they're not doing the right thing. The Seahawks versus the Vikings. That was a really tough game to watch if you were a Seahawks fan. I mean, Chris Carson did his thing. Russell Wilson was all right. But, man, their defense was so bad.
This defense, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a secondary or just they don't really get a lot of pass rush going on, and Kirk Cousins just really he was really comfortable. But he tore them apart. 30 for 38, 323 for 3 touchdowns. At that, Alexander Madison ran all over them.
Yeah,
I could only imagine what Dalvin Cook would have done. Dalvin Cook probably would have had maybe 3 touchdowns against his defense if Alexander Madison was running for 112 yards. He did get hurt later on in the game, but I don't think it would be a big deal because Amir Abdullah's back. He knows the scheme. He knows the offense. Nothing's really changed, so he's capable to come in and fill that hole. But Justin Jefferson, welcome back. Yep. Welcome back. I mean, I think this guy. I want to say this now. Give him 2-3 years, he'll be a top 5 receiver in this league. I really do believe that.
For sure.
He's just produced. That's all he's done. That's all he's done since day one is produced. There's never been a drop off. There's never been any of these crazy bad games where you have this guy getting no catches. He is just producing in every aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, Kirk Cousins just honestly, he's a little bit underrated still. I mean, people don't talk about him much, but let's be real. The Vikings, they could have started 3-0 if they had gotten a couple lucky bounces in one way or the other. They missed a kick against Arizona. They could have won that game. All the games have been close up until this point where they blew out the Seahawks. But this is a very, very good offense that has had a lot of time to gel together. That's something that's underrated as well. They have a lot of time to form chemistry. Kirk Cousins knows Adam Thielen inside out. He knows Justin Jefferson right now inside out. He's really confident throwing to these guys. Tyler Conklin really stepped up in this game. 7 receptions, 70 yards. Honestly, if it wasn't for just some bad luck and some bad play by their defenses, Minnesota could be, they could be at the top of the division
easily. Yeah. I would say that, they still got to face Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously looking back to himself. But
they also got to see the Packers defense, which is horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible right now.
Yeah.
But this Minnesota defense is definitely way better than what their record is. This offense is way better. Their defense is not as great. They got some guys, but it's just they just have these vets that are kind of just old. Yeah. They're not really capable to keep up with these young guys. But this team is way better than the record. It's obvious. This game showed. They came out and just tore apart Seattle. And it seemed like, offensive-wise, Seattle had a pretty good game. Russell Wilson only got sacked twice. He threw no interceptions. 298 touchdown, averaged 9 yards a throw. Chris Carson did his thing. 6 yards a carry, 12 carries, 80 yards and a touchdown. DK did this thing. I mean, it just seemed like that. It was just kind of just like they couldn't handle the shootout.
Yeah.
It seemed like they they just had a down point, and then Minnesota just pulled away. That's all it was.
Yeah, and honestly, Minnesota's they're a sneaky good team, or they're a sneaky team to make playoffs this year. If the Bears don't get going, I can see the Vikings taking their spot and even making playoffs in the wild card.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, I'm very concerned about right now because their division is so good. They have 2 3-0 teams in their division. They have 1 2-1 team, and they are the 1-2 team. So they're bottom of their division, and It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all.
When you lose against, and you know what's funny is actually the Titans and the Vikings are kind of very similar,
Yes.
like teams, and they lost against them. They lost against both of them, and they lost. They got worse in the week after the Titans game, which should tell you something. Is that they're not ready for any type of team that has a really good running back and even just one good wide receiver. Like they're not ready for a team like that. And it's going to be very tough for them because their entire division has either
running backs,
receivers, or great running backs. Like,
yeah, it's going to be hard for them to succeed. I think that they need to get this defense in order. They just need to get more guys there, or just get their guys' confidence up, or I don't know what it really is, but they got to figure something out.
Yeah. Let's jump to the Bucs versus Rams game. This is one of the most highly anticipated games of the week, and the Rams just kind of blew them out for a while, and then the Bucs kind of scored in garbage time to keep it close. Honestly, this is a big push for the Rams' confidence, for their mental, because now they think they might be able to beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah. Let me just say one thing, that Matthew Stafford is looking phenomenal.
Yes.
He is just lighting up every single defense every week, and it just seems like you really can't stop this offense. I have yet to see one team stop this offense, and I thought that the Bucs would be the team to do it, and it's just not happening. This is kind of looking like their Super Bowl team with this offense. This offense is really looking like that Super Bowl team when they had that deep Super Bowl run. Granted, Todd Gurley had got injured in the Super Bowl and they couldn't really use him as much, but this team is really scary, and this defense is only getting better every single week, and it's just really getting scary, man. I don't know. And then D-Jack, one of the best deep threats of all time, he's still producing. Yeah. How do teams not know to cover this guy downfield? It just seems like every single time he loses a safety, even when the safety help, the safety just always seems lost when Deshaun Jackson is on the field going deep.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be this big of a blowout for the Rams. I thought it would be a much closer game. But, look, Tom Brady threw 55 times in this game. I'm not sure if that's a path of success for them. They need to get more out of their running backs. Gio Bernard had no rushes. He was the running back, and he had no rushes. He had just 9 of 10 receptions.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ridiculous. Leonard Fournette he was 4 carries, 8 yards. He did nothing. Ronald Jones, 5 carries, 11 yards, did nothing. Their running backs are not looking good right now, and they need a lot more production from them because Tom Brady cannot just be throwing 50 times a game and you expect to win the game like that.
Easily not going to happen.
Cooper Kupp has been fantastic. I mean, his connection with Stafford, they get breakfast together. They go down and look at the playbook and practice. Like they're like this close, man. And you finally see what happens when you take a quarterback who was on a bad team and give him a fresh start with a good team.
And at that, not even that, it's just like Matthew Stafford is an amazing quarterback.
Yeah.
He's been in a horrible organization, horrible situations. It's just he's never been in a place where he could succeed. You see how good he is when he's in a place where he can succeed. He has a defense to help him, and you can just have fun. Matt Stafford is looking like he's 20 out there. He's running around the field. He's celebrating. He's throwing his armband off and all this stuff like that. He's having fun. Yeah. And when a quarterback like this is having fun at this point of his career, that's a little scary.
Yeah. The only thing that could really stop him at this point is injury. God forbid. But look, I mean, this kind of goes to show how much teams and franchises matter to individual player success as well, right? Football is a team game. If your team sucks, you're probably going to suck too.
Yes,
you're going to look bad. That's how it is.
And let me just say one thing. How is Cooper Kupp always wide open? I mean, this guy is every single time he gets the ball to him, there's nobody around him. I don't understand it.
Travis Kelce's connection.
Travis Kelce's the same way with Mahomes. I feel, Travis Kelce would, he would be triple coverage, double coverage, something. He's always wide open. There's just nobody around him. Cooper Kupp the same way. This guy just walks into the end zone because there's nobody around him. He's just getting extra yards after catch because there's nobody around him to make a tackle. I mean, this is phenomenal. I mean, I'm loving his production. He's been lighting it up since week 1, and it's just going to keep going on as long as Matthew Stafford keep that connection.
And the scariest part of the Rams right now is that not only do they have all this offensive talent, they got Jalen Ramsey and they got Aaron
Aaron
Donald.
Donald, and everybody else in that defense just feeding off those two guys' energy.
Yep. Yep. It's crazy. This is one of the most stacked teams in the league right now. And they're probably, in my opinion, they're probably Super Bowl favorites, at least in terms of getting to the Super Bowl from the NFC. It's between them and the Bucs, and if they can do this to the Bucs again in playoff time, man.
I would say that this was a preview of the NFC Championship, and we'll definitely see another crazy high impact game like this again.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't pull a miracle and he somehow beats either the Rams or the Bucs before he gets there, then I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to win another Super Bowl in this NFC when they have teams like this.
I love Aaron Rodgers, but there's no way he's going to beat this Rams team. Not with that defense going against him and with how bad the Packers defense has been.
It is, yeah.
But we'll get into the Packers next because the Packers just barely squeaked out against the San Francisco 49ers, 30-28. They won off of a 37-second final drive, no timeouts. Mason Crosby kicked the game-winning field goal. Man, I mean, how do you feel about this game? I mean, their defense was just so bad. This game shouldn't have been this close. Like,
I would say that Aaron Rodgers, this is probably one of his best games so far this year, and he looked really well. This offense looked like they were clicking in all cylinders. Him and Devontae Adams, they're getting that connection back. They're getting that 1-2 punch back. You can't stop them. Yep. And Devontae Adams took a really, really scary hit, and he came back in the second half and still produced at the end of the game when needed him to win the game. Yep. That shows how great of a receiver Devontae Adams is. Because he took a really scary hit, and I thought, he's easily done for the day. But here he comes back after halftime, pop back in the game, and just getting right back at it, just like that. Like you said, just the only unfortunate thing is that this Green Bay defense is so bad. Jimmy G, he didn't really have an amazing game. He got sacked 4 times and he threw a pick and he was 25 for 40, but he still managed to throw 2 touchdowns. He still managed to throw for 257 yards. He still managed to get George Kittle going. Still managed to get Deebo Samuel going, and finally, they're using Brandon Ayuk. I don't know, man. This is just a great performance from Aaron Rodgers. He took him down to the end of the game with, I think it was 30 seconds left on the clock to go down, and he got 50, 60 yards in like 3 plays. It's ridiculous. Big ups to Aaron Rodgers. Big ups to Mason Crosby for actually making this field goal and not choking. But they squeezed away with this one. But I don't know how many games they can win like this going on in the season.
Yeah, if the Niners were a better offense, this would be a different story, most likely. They did do really good this game. Jimmy G, actually, I think he had a pretty good game for Jimmy G standards. He did lead a almost game-winning drive, and Kyle Juszczyk powered into the end zone. But, I mean, the running backs are still they need. Yeah, they're all hurt, and right now they're down to Trey Sermon, and they're using Kyle Juszczyk, their fullback, as a running back right now. And Trey Sermon wasn't even good on the ground. He was 10 carries, 31 yards. He did not look good, which is scary because they drafted him in third round. And this is, once again, a really bad Green Bay defense, and they are known to be porous to running backs. And if Trey Sermon can't do it here, I don't know if he can do it against other teams, especially not in the division.
Yeah. I want to say one thing. I would like for them to use Trey Lance more. I mean, It seems like every single time they bring him in the game, he makes these big impact plays on the game. He comes in, scores the first touchdown. Earlier in the season, he comes in, he throws a touchdown. I mean, just give the guy more chances to, get on the field, get some on-field experience. I know Jimmy G is doing well and he's playing well and he's getting you guys wins and stuff like that. But, let the young guy you drafted early. You drafted him in the first round for a reason. Maybe not. I wouldn't say give him a full start to a game. But, give him a couple series. Let him mesh with this offense. Let him get some connection with these receivers. Let him build a little chemistry with the guys. So when the team does need him, or whenever Jimmy G does go out, he can go in and just pick right up right where they left off.
Yep. And is this Jimmy G's last year on contract, or does he have one more?
I believe this is it, and I think he's looking for a payday. but I think the 49ers would be dumb to pay him if they
I
do.
don't think he's gonna get it. I mean, Jimmy G's. I've joked about this for years, but like his main job is to hand off to the running backs. Like this is a run first team, and Trey Lance who's a really good runner, they could run an imitation of the Ravens offense with a lot of read options. He could hold the ball one way and then have his running back come up, fake, and just take off, just read whatever the defense is given and just go that way. They have the chance to do that with Trey Lance. They can't do that with Jimmy G. So
yeah, me personally, I think that will work for them a lot if they just go back and adapt that Colin Kaepernick type offense with Trey Lance. He's very capable to do exactly same things Colin Kaepernick was capable to do, but just a little bit better. He's a little more athletic. I wouldn't say he has a better arm, but he's definitely more accurate than Colin Kaepernick was.
Yeah, funny enough, Greg Roman, who was the offensive coordinator with Colin Kaepernick, is now in Baltimore doing the same thing basically over there.
With Lamar Jackson, yeah.
Yep. So I mean, if they want to imitate what Greg Roman's doing, I think it would work the best with Trey Lance. Genuinely, I think it's gonna be a really good team. And let's talk about the Monday night game, Eagles Cowboys. I think there's not much to talk about besides like the Cowboys defense has been holding up pretty well, and I'm surprised by how good they've been.
Yeah, this defense is really surprising me. Micah Parsons is excelling at the end. I thought that was a bad move by them. I know they have injuries, but I didn't think they needed to move him to the end. But he's been doing really well at that position. He's getting back to the quarterback. I mean, sometimes they have him dropping back in coverage at the end. He's covering running backs. He's doing it all. Micah Parsons was definitely an amazing pick. He's been performing since day one. He's definitely the most explosive guy, I think, at the linebacker position coming out of this draft. This is a big game.
He's probably the favorite. He's probably the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year right now.
Yeah, easily 1,000%. Because you move him around, he's just producing everywhere. This is Zeke's finally eating again. They got him back moving. They got his legs back warm. I feel like he just needed this confidence game, with just to bring him back to where he was. And this is definitely the game for it. But once again, Tony Pollard, he's 11 carries, 60 yards. He's averaging the same amount of yards as Zeke. So they might have a committee going on building there. Dalton Schultz, he shows up once again. He comes out of nowhere when these other tight ends aren't producing. He comes out and he produces. CeeDee Lamb's obviously the number one receiver. He's just so dynamic. He's capable to make plays all over the field. Amari Cooper, where you at, man? You always tend to do this. You tend to hide every couple games. They need you to be more consistent because Gallup's out. They don't want to rely on Cedric Wilson being a number 2 guy to CeeDee Lamb, or Dalton Schultz being a number 2 guy to CeeDee Lamb. They need him to be able to be dominant with his matchups every week so they can, rely on him more.
Yeah. And this Eagles team, I didn't think they looked horrible, but like at the same time, they weren't getting anything on the ground, really. I mean, they had 3 total carries in the game, I think. And I think for combined yards, it was 29 yards. Like, that's not great. I know they were down, but I feel like they should have ran the ball more. They started off really well. I believe the Cowboys fumbled the ball in their own end zone, right? And the defense immediately got a touchdown from it.
Yeah. I would say that the offense kind of struggled the first 2 drives. I know on his first, it seemed like Jalen Hurts was going to go down and score, and he goes and makes a 50-50 ball, and it's a bad throw. He kind of underthrows Jalen Reagor on a go route, which obviously had to step on the guy if he just threw it into the end zone, and he ends up throwing an interception. And then he comes back, I don't know if it was the next drive or was the later on in the game, but he threw another interception, which is not good. I think it was an out route to Devontae Smith, actually, and Devontae Smith slipped and threw a pick 6 to Trayvon Diggs. Technically, that's not really his fault. I feel like if Devontae Adams didn't slip and fall, he might have been able to, prevent that from even being an interception. But things happen, and it just doesn't always look good on him.
Zach Ertz finally emerged again. He's been doing it somewhat for so
long. Hopefully this can be more consistent because they need him to. They kind of need him to, be a guy that they can rely on. Devontae Smith, they're trying to work him into the offense. He's a rookie. He's doing the best he can. Quez Watkins, he's a speed guy. They're kind of using him out of the backfield some and just throwing him these screen passes. I saw them do that a couple times. And Jalen Reagor is just Jalen Reagor. Everybody kind of doubted him. And he's showing I'm way better than what you guys thought last year. I was dealing with some injuries. he's healthy this year. He's coming back and he's looking well.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that I had like a 6-leg parlay, and all five of them hit, and it came down to the Eagles Cowboys, and I picked Eagles. I cashed out immediately.
Yeah,
I was not trusting this team. I cashed out immediately.
Be grateful you did that. This Eagles team is not bad, but it's not a good look when you're struggling against a Cowboys defense.
Yeah.
It's just not the best. I would say that the Cowboys defense definitely. I'm trying to find the word. What is the word? They overachieved than what everybody thought they would. This defense is looking really scary. If they can play like this every week with DeMarcus Lawrence out and having other injuries, I would say NFC East be on the lookout, because I had them last. They might end up first.
Yeah, I had them below the Eagles, but they might end up first or second right now. This is kind of I feel like this division is a battle between Washington and Dallas right now, and I can't wait to see that matchup, and I want to see what happens there.
1,000%.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it. If you guys want to check out our week 4 preview, it should be coming out tomorrow from when this is coming out. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much. I've been Bert.
Hey, see you guys later.
Check out other stuff on the channel if you're into the NBA, NFL, and all that stuff, and catch you guys next time. Goodbye.
Peace.